Alright guys, welcome back. We've made a lot of progress here. Got a lot of the odds and ends buttoned up. I got the motor wired, the intakes on, the belts on, put the filters on the turbos, all kinds of fun stuff. The only wiring I have left is O2 sensors once I figure out what I'm going to do here for a downpipe. And I'm really going to figure that out once I put the strut back in and put the tire on it and see how far it actually turns in. I have a thought. I'm hoping it'll work. I'll show you. What I'm hoping I can do is come right through this hole back here, bring the exhaust down on top of this header. As you can see, you got a pretty good shot right there, and then turn in to this hole right here. I don't think I'm going to be able to, because I think the strut is going to sit too far back, but I'm hoping that I can do that, because that would make life so much simpler. But I don't know. Like I said before, I can't come under it because the control arm and the drag link, and I can't come in front of it obviously because of the tire. So we'll see how that goes once I actually get it done. Right now I'm dying to get it fired up and see if these things make any noise. I still have to hook my clutch up, which I got the new cable and all in. I just have to put the triple hook quadrant on the inside. I got the firewall adjuster in up here. This is the UPR kit, so good stuff. I like UPR. I've got their K-member arms, all that. But here's where we're at. Like I said, belt on, intake, got the filters on the turbos. So the only thing not hooked up on the turbos is the actual boost. Still got to get the intercooler mounted down in here. I've been looking for that bracket. I had to go get my backup bracket out. Oh well. Yeah, this side is dark over here, but everything's all plumbed, hooked up. I had to order some more V-bands so I can do my 90 coming off of here. And they'll be here tomorrow along with the turbo blankets. I do already have a roll of gold heat wrap here so I can wrap my downpipe. Don't know where I'm going to mount the fancy catch tank. And it's a decent looking piece. I don't know where to put it yet. Right now I'm working on getting the battery box installed and the cable. This is the cable that comes with the kit. This is up here by the fuse panel where I'm bolting it on. And it's probably good, I don't know, 4 foot past the trunk. What I'm going to do is right here on the fuse panel you have a lug that sticks off. I'm going to swallow the bug. Anyways, I'm going to hook the end of the battery cable to that lug along with the constant power side of the starter. I have to put a connector on it. And then this one is power to inside. Or, oh, I'm sorry. That one's charge cable from the alternator. My grounds, get rid of all this gnarly stuff. This little jumper wire that was on it can go. Sorry. And then I'm going to have 2 different connectors here. I'm going to clean all the paint off here to where I'm down to bare metal, since that's nice and thick at the strut tower. I'm going to ground it there up front. And then I also have another ground that goes from the engine itself to the frame, and I may add some more just because in a DC system, too many grounds is not possible. DC absolutely loves its grounds. If you're watching this and you don't know what I mean by DC, DC is direct current. 12 volt DC is what your car runs on. Fun fact, the alternator actually puts out an AC voltage like your house, and then it has a, oh dagnabbit. Yep, one of them doohickeys in the thingamajigger, and it converts it to DC for you. God bless, I can't think of the name of it now. It just looks stupid. Oh well. But yeah, your alternator puts out AC voltage. Goes through, not the regulator. Regulator regulates the output. Oh well. Totally evaded me. But yeah. This is where we're at. I will show you, this is the battery box. You have to assemble it. Had my dad out in the shop, put him to work. This is obviously just a protective film so the aluminum doesn't get scratched up. Pretty shiny aluminum under there. This all sets together. Not too much crap in this shop. This is your hardware kit that had all the screws and washers to assemble the box, and then these are to mount it, which I'll show you in a second. It actually is a really nice tight fit. It's already got holes for your cables to come through, your positive, negative, and then the breather for the box. The whole thing sets together and is sandwiched by those pieces of all thread. So all we got to do is set this where we want it in the trunk, drill a couple holes for the all thread to go through, push the all thread up from the bottom of the car through the battery box, through the lid, and then tighten it down with the hardware. This is all the fasteners they send to build the box with. Basically, you build this square, and then set it inside the bottom tray, and then set the top tray on the top, and it all gets sandwiched down together. Here's the hardware that they send. They give you 2 pieces of all thread, which are plenty long, a hold down bar, and then they do give you rubber grommets to go through the box, and then some push-in plastics. Or I'm sorry, I bet you the rubber grommets are for going through the trunk, and then your plastic bushings are going through the box, fitting for your tube and a new positive terminal. So they do supply you with everything you need in the battery relocation. The cable itself isn't bad. It does come with one lug already crimped on the end here, and it's shrink wrapped. It's actually not too bad at all. The wire itself is a heavily insulated number 4. It's not bad. Should have plenty of strands in there to carry all the current that the car would need. And like I said, it's plenty long, which is surprising. They also do give you a brand new negative cable with a crimp and a terminal. Why they have a red wire with a butt connector is beyond me. That should be black, but you know, it's not a perfect world. But that is going to be plenty long to get out of that battery box. Find a good spot in the trunk on the frame where you can clean the paint off and get a solid connection to the frame and body. If you just drill a hole without scratching the paint off and bolt that to it, you will get some kind of connection, but everything in the car is going to go funky. Your gauges, things will just intermittently wig out, be weird. That's how systems without proper grounding act. They just go, they have a mind of their own, we'll put it that way. If you have a problem with your dash or your radio or anything like that, more than likely it's because you don't have enough grounds or you have a bad ground, period. But they do give everything to actually install the battery in the trunk. Like I said, here's all your hardware, plenty of nuts and washers. More than likely what I'm going to do is put the nuts and washers on the bottom, tack it together, push it up through the bottom of the trunk, and then actually tack the rods in place to where I'm not trying to hold the bottom here with a wrench and come into the top of the trunk to tighten the bar down and actually sandwich the box. Then all I have to do is screw and unscrew the very top. But I'll show you once I get the wire run and get the box in the trunk where I decided to put it, and what we done. After that, just need to prime the oil system, and I think that's about it. I'll probably go ahead and throw the radiator in. I'm not going to let it run long enough to actually build heat, but I'll probably go ahead and throw the radiator in along with water for now. Make sure everything's good, no big leaks, no big problems. As long as everything's good, I'll drain the water out and we'll actually put coolant in it. But we're close. We're real close. I'm hoping to fire it off tonight. If not tonight, it'll be first thing in the morning. So here we go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We finally got this car started. I didn't record it because I wanted to get rid of all the leaks, and I wrapped the downpipes so it would have just been a smoke ball if you were trying to watch it. Show you what I did just temporarily so I could get some O2 sensors on it. I wrapped the downpipe here to try and keep some of the heat out of my fender and not melt all my brand new paint. And then just tacked on some, this is the this is the downpipe that came with the kit with the O2 bung in it. So I just tacked it on up here, then tacked a little piece of crap on to direct the exhaust down. But I did get the O2 sensors hooked up. We fired it up last night. Didn't run bad. I got a misfire. It's probably just a plug, but we'll get that changed out here momentarily. But the only actual leak that I had was that head cooling mod I showed you. I thought it was leaking water, but turns out the brand new piece of rubber that I put on top of it actually ripped. I don't know if it was during install or what, so I just got to change that out. Thank God it's not the actual mod in the back of the head. But I do have, I just rigged this up to where I could run it. Turbos are all done up with the stupid blue air filters. Not a fan of blue, like I've said. Fitment came out really nice. I'll show you my battery box. It's not actually mounted yet. I just have it sitting here. I'm gonna rivet the box together instead of sandwiching it. But I set it down in the spare tire hole since I don't have a spare tire. It's grounded back up in there under the fender, and then power cable comes through one of these rubber plugs right up there, right behind the shock, and it's actually right in the center of the frame. I'll show you how I ran it. It actually worked out incredibly well. Down here, see if we can see from here. I ran it and zip tied it right down my subframe connector, and right there, see, right up here is a big hole in the frame that I jumped inside of, ran inside the frame here, as you see, right up to that top spot. Where's the shock? Heck, I've lost myself here. Can't see it from here. But anyways, it runs through the frame and up through one of those rubber drain plugs right into the trunk. So I just took and cut an X in it, used that for my grommet. Now, like I said, I'm going to rivet the bottom of the box together and then just screw it to the trunk and cut out the floor piece to hold the box still. I don't see it going anywhere, but got the transmission all hooked back up. All that new clutch stuff is in. Working on the intercooler now, which I have these tabs from years ago, back when we used to build the mud racing trucks. These tabs were for the 4-link bars, shocks, whatever. And I happen to have a brand new pack of them that I never used. So I seen them. Hey, that'll work perfectly. 1/4 inch thick, kind of a teardrop shape, mounts up real nice on the intercooler. All I did was drill a hole, and I found a use for those short turbo bolts with the locking nut. Works out rather nicely. What I plan to do is come right up here on the support and clean the paint off, weld it on, and then I'll probably come off the bottom of the core support just out flat with some kind of a brace just to help hold the bottom up. Right there is the outlet for the driver's side. Passenger side I'm gonna bring in high and then probably 90 right down into it. I gotta build a Y since they didn't send one. And on another note, everything they sent for intercooler piping is 2.5 inch. I don't think that's going to be enough to feed this motor. Taking turbo to turbo into 2.5 is fine into one end of the intercooler, but I'm going to order some extra pipe and come out of the other side and go with a 3 or a 3.5, probably a 3.5 inch pipe, and bring it into the actual throttle body, because then it'll actually be able to flow. Both turbos feeding into one 2.5 inch pipe I don't think is going to work, and we also have the Ford oval throttle body, so trying to find an adapter from the throttle body to a 2.5 inch pipe ain't gonna happen. I already have one, but it's from the oval to a 4 inch pipe. I could probably get away using it on a 3.5, but we'll see how it goes. That's a little bit down the road for now. I'm still waiting on my blow through mass air to come in, and I want to put a few miles on the car, change the oil before we get the boost hooked up. Something I want everybody to comment, let me know what you use for tuning software. So far, I'm leaning towards the HP tuner. I like the software, all the videos on YouTube that I've watched. It looks pretty darn user friendly and it's not overly complicated. I've also looked at the SCT Pro Racer, the, what is that thing? Commando Delta Elite, whatever the hell that is. I'm not really a fan of that one, but drop a comment. Let me know what you guys are using to tune your cars. Not just a can tune. I want to be able to adjust fuel, spark, everything myself. I don't want to change an injector and have to go pay somebody at a dyno $400-600 just to retune for a new injector or anything of that sort. I want to be able to do it myself. So let me know what you guys are using to tune your cars with. But moving forward, I'm going to get this alternator. I'm going to get the intercooler hung, and we'll start doing some piping to it, and we'll go from there.